Each time I visit the UK, I try and find a new area to explore. This year it was Norfolk, and as I wanted to visit the Sandringham estate, I stumbled across the small town of Acre. It was a great stumble as the town was small and rural with lots to see. As with most towns and villages, Acre has a main street called the High Street. Sunday afternoon when I arrived, it was very busy as both sides of the High Street has pubs and restaurants. Monday morning at 9 a.m, when I took this footage, it was a lot quieter. The High Street is separated by a village green and the parking is free. A scarce thing I discovered over the next few days, paid parking everywhere, and it wasn't cheap. The Bailey Gate was one of the two entrances to the medieval town of Acre. The gate was built around 1200 by the noble family who also built the castle and the priory. The town still has a red telephone box on the village green, which is a phone box. Many of them have been converted to house heart defibrillators. The High Street buildings are constructed with Norfolk flint, large pebbles and then edged with red brick. Walking around the town, I came across the Church of St. James. Its tower proved to be a helpful landmark when rambling by the river and I needed to work out how to get back to the High Street. The church dates back to the 14th and 15th centuries, and it was restored twice in the Victorian era, and that's the main external experience you see now. And I really loved all the tapestry kneelers in the church. The area is home to an 11th century priory. When entering the priory grounds, you pass through the 15th century gatehouse, constructed in what I now know is Norfolk flint. The site is run by English Heritage, and if you're not a member, there is a charge to enter. A very helpful guide explained the site, and then off I went. It had been quite a large complex with a church and infirmary, a dormitory for the monks, and the prior's house. The priory had been founded in 1090 by William de Varennes. I'll go with an attempt at a French pronunciation as the family was Norman, who was inspired by the monastery in Cluny, France. The prior got his own dwelling, and this house survived the dissolution of the monasteries as it could be used as a nobleman's house. In the main room you can see the Tudor roses in the ceiling rafters that the prior had painted to try and curry favour with Henry VIII. It didn't work. The priory was dissolved in 1537 and the king gave the land to the Duke of Norfolk. The remaining monks were thrown out. About 35 monks lived at the priory, and hygiene was important. The latrine is one structure that's well preserved. It was a two-storey building. The monks used the ground floor toilet niches during the day and the upstairs ones linked to the dormitory during the night. There were no doors on the cubicles though. It's possible to walk from the priory to the castle ruins along the river and then through to the village. I set off for the walk, but then my notoriously bad sense of direction was going to reappear, so I spotted the church tower and headed back to the High Street. The castle is just a short walk down a lane from the High Street. The castle is mainly ruins. but you can see the enormous earthworks that created the ramparts around the castle. Later, a stone keep was built. As the centuries passed, the castle started to fall into disuse. Its ownership passed into the state in 1971 and it's now managed by English Heritage. The site is free to enter and wander around. If you enjoy watching my videos, please consider subscribing. Castle Acre is a lovely village to explore in this big wide world.